Happy Sunday, babes. What's up? It's Carlisa Victoria. I am back with another video. If you babes are new here, hi, welcome to my channel. If you've already been subscribed, I'm back with another video. If you babes are new here, hi, welcome to my channel. If you've already been subscribed, thanks for coming back. So y'all, I'm sitting in the car in the garage. I just got home, just let the garage down, and I turned the car off, and your girl is hot. However, I'm going to make this video because this is the only time where I feel like I can really get a good amount of peace when I get home, because my dogs, once they know I'm active doing things, if they're not involved, they're going to whine. They're going to do whatever they need to do to get my attention. So you guys will not have my attention. But we're all about to eat dinner in a few. It's 3 something right now. And I just came back from the store, and I just really wanted to post this video real quick to just let you guys know we're back on our consistent kick, okay? Tomorrow is Monday, which is July 27th, and I told you guys we are going in a new month. So we end up in a new month. I think Saturday of this upcoming week makes it August 1st. I want to go in this month prepared for the blessings that God has in store, prepared for just a new season to win, prepared for everything. So with that being said, I'm going to be cleaning up. I'm going to be getting things done like I stated I was going to do this week. I've been doing that, and I'm going to continue to maintain doing that. So I'm super excited about where God's taking me. I've been feeling like I'm in a space where I know things are about to take off, but God is striving to get me to align myself with the purpose. So, for example, you ever think to yourself, or maybe you might not think this because nobody really thinking like this, but just think about a puzzle, right? A 500-piece puzzle, right? You have this 500-piece puzzle. When you purchase that puzzle, assuming that everything is put in there, somebody did their job, the manufacturer made sure all the pieces are there. So this is not the moment to be devil's advocate and say, well, what if all the pieces aren't in there? All the pieces are in the box, okay? So imagine a 500-piece puzzle, right? And you know every single piece is in that box. But what you don't yet know is how that picture is actually going to look when you put it together. You see what it looks like on the box, i.e. you see it in your head, you see the vision. So associate looking at that box with what you envision in your head, right? But the pieces are scattered. And it takes you to take each piece one by one to strategically put it together to get the picture in which is on the front of the box. That's like your life right now. God is giving you all of the pieces. They are just scattered. So in order to get into that alignment, you're going to have to take piece by piece and put it together. Oh, this doesn't fit. This doesn't work. This doesn't fit. That could be that job. This doesn't fit. That could be that relationship. This doesn't fit. That could be this neighborhood. That didn't fit. That could be, anything, right? But when you start piecing that puzzle together and you start to see the pieces that actually fit and it's starting to create the picture, then you are more optimistic because you're closer to the actual image being created through you putting the pieces together. That's your life. Right now, God has equipped you with all the pieces. You are just striving to figure out, what do I have to do with these pieces and where do they go? I have all the pieces. It's like if I decided to do a Easter egg hunt, and I said the Easter egg hunt takes place only inside the confines of the house and the garage, right? Well, you know that the Easter egg hunt would only be in the garage and in the house. You will not go outside looking under the trees. Why? Because it's all within a specific space, right? That's where we're at in life right now. So to my girlies and to my guys who feel stuck, or maybe you don't feel stuck, you just feel like you have all the pieces, you just don't know how to put them together. This is what I'm talking about. In order to be in alignment with the purpose that God has for you, you're going to have to step into the things that you need to step into to align. So example, if I know that I'm striving to be strategic, because you cannot tell me successful people, they know where their time goes. So if you should ask somebody who's really successful, what does your day look like tomorrow? They're not going to say, I don't know. They're going to say, well, when I wake up in the morning, I have to hit the gym from 5 to 6. From 6 to 8, I'm going to be doing my devotions, walking my dogs, eating my breakfast. From 8 to 5 o'clock in the day, I'm going to be taking client calls, emailing people. From 5 to 8, I'm going to be doing wind down things, cooking for the family, watching TV, doing all that. From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I'm going to be showering. And from 10 to maybe 11, I'm going to be watching my favorite show for an hour and reading my book. Then I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. That is how successful people think. If you don't allocate your time If time is currency and time is something that you cannot get back, then why not schedule block? Why not tie? I've met plenty of people who just say, I just go with the flow. And you know, the people who say they go with the flow, those are the people who they maybe work their 9 to 5, or they are content with where they're at in life, not pushing entrepreneurship on the people, but people who just go with the flow 24/7 to everything. 9 times out of 10, they're not striving to be in our top 1%, right? The top 1%, you know, because you either want to be a part of the 1% or you want to be a part of the 99%. And if you want to be a part of the 1%, you have to do the things that sets you apart. So if I know that the 99% is not setting goals, they're not having schedule blocking, they're not, you know, doing the things that are going to push them into, propel them into what they're striving to do, then why would I want to do that if I want to be a part of the 1%? That means I'm going to have to do totally opposite. I'm going to have to schedule block. I'm going to have to make sure I have solid routines. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm getting to the things that I need to get to be successful. Because in the end of the day, you're only as good as what you put out. And I always say that. So if you have all these good ideas in your head festering, but you're never bringing them to reality, then you're only as good as what your output is. Your input is only as good as your output. So don't just leave it up in your mind, put it out there. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us, it's not that we don't have good ideas, is sometimes you will not see results from that thing that you've been doing for 2 and 3 years, and then you will just decide it's time to move on. Sometimes, sis, what if it's not meant for you to move on? What if it was meant to show that you could stay down through the tough times of a business, which means that you will be able to stay up when it's good? It's easy to create a business. It's hard to stick with one. Because in the end of the day, businesses have ups and downs. Everything does not go viral, right? So if you know that your purpose, your calling is to do this specific business, don't give up on it just because you don't feel like what you need, God provides. So if you feel like you are lacking the clientele, ask yourself, do I have the systems in place? Ask yourself, do I know that if this curveball comes to me, how I would handle it? Ask yourself, has my leadership skills been lacking poorly? What books have I read? What have I engaged with? How has my attitude been? What traumas in my life have been bothering me to the point where I need to seek therapy for? Because we all can do it, right? And I'm no judge of anybody, because to me, therapy can be very, very traumatizing for me, just simply because you literally have to be vulnerable. And when you've been through a lot of trauma, vulnerability, it seems easy to some, but it's really not. You're guarded. You don't want to let your guard down. But when you're able to, the first step to actually making a change is recognizing. When I'm able to recognize and say, hey, listen, this is how I act when this type of thing happens. Why do I act this way? Because of this. So what should I do? Maybe I should seek some type of therapy to help me to understand why I'm reacting to that trauma that way, or how to deal with the trauma that I am reacting to. Because everything is not, oh, you're just, reactive for no reason. Some things are trauma responses. And there may be, like, nobody can push you into, oh, you have to see this person, or you have to see that. You have to want that. So for me, when I look at my life right now and I think about how far God can take me, I keep telling myself, you have to let the walls down. It's easier said than done, but if you don't let the walls down, it's going to be impossible for you to get to where you need to, because you're always so guarded. Everything is coming with a shield, when sometimes some things are not meant to be shielded. Some things are actually meant to be embraced. But when you're so hardcore and you're so, because that's what your trauma and your life circumstances have made you, not that you chose that. You want to be feminine, you want to be soft, but some of your traumas have caused you to naturally guard up. Then you will miss some of the blessings that are actually in store for you, thinking that you're supposed to be combating what's coming to you instead of embracing it. So I can't tell you what you need to do to boss up your life. I can't tell you what you need to do to get to where you need to be. But for me, I have already identified the problems in my life and then created solutions as to what I can do to really be better in those areas of my life. So whatever that looks like for you, that's what you have to do. And it's not for friends, it's not for a family, it's not for a man, it's not for a girl, it's not for a woman, it's not for anybody but yourself. Because in the end of the day, you have to think about it. Whether you are in a relationship or you're not in a relationship, whether you're in a friendship or you're not in a friendship, whether you cut your family off or you keep your family, at the end of the day, you still have to choose and be with you, right? So if I know that God has equipped me with all these skills to be successful, but I know that my traumas are hindering me from certain levels, then God's not going to enlarge my territory for me to get certain things if I don't deal with the things that I need to deal with before. It's almost like we want this next level, but we are not being real with ourselves and saying, are you ready for what? Because one thing about God is God has always proven to be faithful. So if we know that whatever we ask for, God says, asking you will receive, knock and the door will be open. Like, if we know that we could get anything that we put our request in by simply asking, you would be overwhelmed if God gave you everything that you wanted today. You could say, no, I wouldn't. Yes, you would, because you know what? You haven't prepared yourself you haven't aligned yourself with the purpose of what he's trying to do with you. So if you sit here and you say, oh no, if God gave me everything today, I'll be good. No, you would be stressed and you would probably be crying in the corner this week because you don't have your ducks in a row. So my encouragement to you is, don't think that you have to have everything perfect to be able to receive the things that are going to be edifying for your future. In the process of getting it together, be prepared to receive. It would be very nice if all of your ducks are in the row at the time you're receiving and then everything's in alignment. But what I encourage you to do is grow through what you go through. If you can learn to grow wherever you're planted, you're going to be great. Whether it's that neighborhood, whether it's that city, whether it's that job that's temporary until you get to where you are, but you learn how to grow while planted, you are going to go places, because you can easily be planted somewhere and growth not be a thing. You could be staying in a place for 5 years and thinking like, I don't want to be there, so I'm not going to be the best that I could be because I just don't want to be there. Poor thinking. Make the most of where you're at and whatever you're doing, because when you get to places that you do and do not like in your life, you're going to be able to handle it. Why? Because you were able to handle it and not fold under the pressure when you were in certain circumstances. There has been so many times where I've been pushing through content, for business content, or pushing through shoots or pushing through business deals, and I'm going through the works. But at that moment when I'm in that business deal, it's about that business deal. It's not about what I'm going through. So grow through what you go through and understand that at any moment, God can give you the desires of your heart. And when he gives you the desires of your heart, are you ready to receive them and take off? Because if you're not, what is the point of sitting here talking about, oh, well, God, I want this, I want that, and you're not even prepared to take the enlargement of the territory that he's going to give you. Hello, wake up, wake up, wake up. Like I said, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So if you want to succeed, you're going to have to prepare to be successful, baby. Don't just keep picturing yourself as that woman in your head, that's your dream woman, that woman that you say, oh, that's going to be me in 5 years, or that's how I see myself. And baby, stop fantasizing about it and become her. Whatever it is that you need to do to boss up and to be successful, become that. If, for example, last night, I told myself by the next month, I want to be back consistently on my routine of fitness and stuff like that. Like, you guys hear me talk about this all the time. High school, middle school, all that stuff. I used to work out all the time, even in my adult life. But then things started to shift and things like that over the last couple of years that has caused some types of inconsistency that I'm not proud of. But in the end of the day, I always did that. It was an outlet. If I got in trouble, baby, I'm going to work out. If I was playing sports, I was working out. Just to keep my body in shape and looking good, I was working out. Y'all, I'm still sitting in this car, but my storage filled up. But I was releasing endorphins, working out. I was doing all of these things, right? So yesterday I said, I know the first is coming up. I want a clean house. I want my fitness together. I want my routines together. I've been staying up late. I've been writing out goals. I've been doing everything that I need to do to strive to be successful, right? Or be more successful rather. And I've just been writing out all these goals and saying what I'm going to do. So last night, it was 10 o'clock at night. And I said, oh, baby, if I want the body, I want the mental capacity to be what I need to be, then I need to start doing what I say, like right now, not tomorrow, right now. So what did I do? I got on the treadmill. I did 2 miles last night at 3.5 speed, burned over 267 calories. And, I was at 2.1 miles last night, and I said, we're going to do at least 2 miles, 40 minutes, whatever. So that's what we ended up doing. I ended up walking. My treadmill and my workout equipment is in my garage because it gets really hot in here, and it kind of feels like a sunroom in the garage, and I feel like it feels like a sauna. So I'd rather work out on my treadmill and stuff in the garage opposed to working out in the house because I sweat more and I burn more calories. So that's the science behind me having my gym stuff in my garage. So I said, you know what? We're going to work out. We're going to get it together tonight. So last night before I went to bed, I worked out. I sat down. I wrote out some goals. I talked to my dogs, played with them for a little bit. And then I took a shower and I went to bed. At the end of the day, I didn't think that starting meant starting on the first. Starting means immediately. Don't wait to the first. Don't put off what you can get done today, baby. The Bible tells you that. Write the vision, make it plain. So would you want to start your workout routine on the first of the month? Or would you want to start your routine on the 26th, 25th right now? Right when you said you're going to do it? And then you turn around and you end up in a much better position, right? I said last night, so think about it. I'm going to be a week ahead of the game by the time the first come. So tonight I'm going to be working out, watching what I'm eating, watching what I'm consuming. So it's all in the mind, babes. Whatever one thinks you can do, right? So just realize that God is only trying to do something great with you. So don't sit here and think like, oh, my life feels hard. No, he's trying to do something great, but you need to open your eyes and pay attention. You're so busy trying to be at the club every week, sis, but what if you were supposed to be at home during them 3 and 4 hours, writing out your goals and setting systems up? So we could say all day what we want, but what actions are we putting behind the things that we say that we want? A year from now, your life can be completely different. 6 months from now, your life can be completely different. 3 months, 3 days, 1 week. It could be completely different, but it's based on the systems and it's based on the consistency that you choose. It's based on you showing up for yourself. You can show up for everybody else. Events, birthday parties, outings, anything, dinners. But then you lack showing up for yourself. Jobs. If something should happen to you today, you lose your life, you whatever, and this is not to speak negativity on anybody, but just put it in perspective. If you're working that 9 to 5 that you've been working for 25 years and something happens to you today, they'll replace you before you can even get to the next day, they already replaced you. So don't let that many people have that type of power over you as far as what you can do for you. I'm not saying don't make good decisions and be in your career and be in your job for years. I commend you being able to make it through those years, but just don't treat yourself like you're invaluable when it comes down to God is really trying to get your attention and let you know, like, look, it doesn't matter what you do, you're valuable. It does not matter what you do, you are valuable. So yes, some of us may have gotten, letting our circumstances or things in our life just get in the way, but don't forget that you mean something. And if nobody's told you, keep it up. Keep up the good work. You are valuable. You mean something, and God has his hand over you. Just don't get so lost in filling up, but don't get so caught up in temporary situations that you forget that God actually has his hands over your entire life. Not some of your life, but your entire life. Because things really can go up for you. So don't ever think that, oh, God really just ain't looking out for me. No, God knows. He's not the author of confusion. So anything that you want, you can have. So don't forget that. Always remember that. Like God don't play about you. And keep that in mind. All right, babe. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My storage keep filling up. I keep deleting apps so I can make this video for y'all. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Your girl's going to go eat something, watch some YouTube, and get the house in order so that I can be available to receive all the blessings that God's going to send my way. And same to you. Cheers. See y'all.